It has taken us 150 years to get from a homogeneous planet landscape to where we are now, and it is projected to take another 180 years to achieve gender equity. When we add the intersectionality lens, in order to achieve a true diversity and inclusion workplace, all policies, practices, and programs need to be adapted to remove barriers for women from underrepresented groups in the workplace. Having heard these numbers, it's always good to be reminded why you have invested in the certification process and why it is beneficial for organizations to join the parity certification and/or to recertify year after year to measure their progress and sustain it long term. So why parity certification? To close a gap, you need to know how big it is and what is causing it. To evaluate the level of commitment of the organizations towards diverse representation within gender parity, to analyze goals, practices, and results at all levels of the organization, to set objectives and target dates, and to compare against best practices in various disciplines and build a like-minded community. Inclusion and diversity is an ever-evolving and dynamic discipline. Organizations need to be reviewing and adapting their commitments, policies, programs, and practices for inclusion and diversity in order to anticipate what is coming. This dynamic is continuing, and organizations need to accelerate closing the gender gap to keep up with the evolution. In 2020, despite the pandemic, a record number of renowned organizations have submitted their application. 14 organizations certified bronze, 25 organizations certified silver, 11 certified gold, and 8 organizations certified platinum. They are Accenture, CBC Radio Canada, Mercer, Ville de Montréal, National Bank of Canada, ONF, Sodexo, and Sun Life. Congratulations again to all. Women in Governance was very happy to support these organizations that displayed a strong commitment to their journey towards gender parity, even though we all know that these challenges that were faced with this new reality truly required organizations to remain resilient and nimble as they focus on business continuity and employee well-being. For our cohort of 2020, we have 90% of organizations that were certified in 2019, they were recertified in 2020. 68% of recertifying organizations show improved performance year over year. Overall, there was a 2.2% increase in total scores. The greatest increase is attributed to governance and vision that improved by an average of 4.88%, followed by equity, which is 1.6%, and collective enabler with an increase of 0.52%. Looking at the 4 areas of highlighted successes, organizations as a whole have scored high on displaying a strong discrimination and harassment mechanism, including a complaints management system that is impartial and clear, in addition to offering regular training to all employees. WIG recommends that these trainings have a focus on behavioral change rather than a focus on compliance. The second greatest strength that the cohort demonstrated is ensuring that a dedicated team is appointed with a clear mandate to increase diversity and inclusion and the proportion of women within the workplace. To be successful, the diversity and inclusion team must be allocated with a budget and specific tools, as well as supported by the executive team. Notions of inclusion must be embedded across all organizations and departments. Leadership development programs should actively target women with a focus on those belonging to underrepresented groups. Ensure that your training offers are adapted to provide equal access to all. Achieving more inclusive workplaces requires both a bottom-up and a top-down approach. Ensure that your executive members have a prominent role in this endeavor and are bold in their efforts to advance parity, while championing the case of gender parity, and ensure that the organization commitment to parity is cascaded down to all employees. The areas where organizations show opportunities for improvement are the following. So organizations need to be specific about their intentions when retaining top-performing women. Ensure that you provide platforms for periodic assessments of their engagement and customize incentives based on career advancement and work-life balance. Using the power of purse in favoring the choice of partners, suppliers who have implemented gender diversity policies and practices is necessary an instrument to ensure a more inclusive labor market inside and outside Canada. Organizations need to ensure that they are embedding mechanisms that mitigate biases in mark-ons. For example, ensure that your communication team is diverse and is consulted before publishing content. Be conscious in the way you portray gender roles and underrepresented groups to make sure your communication is done in a progressive manner. Assess the use of flex work arrangements and leaves of absences by gender and ensure the promotion of their equal use through internal communication. Showcasing male and female role models. Adapt your evaluation, your performance evaluation, to ensure that no discrimination affects employees who partake in such arrangements and leaves. So what's the next step? Whether you don't know where to begin to close the gender gap in your workplace, or whether you would like to showcase your success stories, you can apply in Women in Governance Parity Certification today. Our entire team is looking forward to supporting organizations' efforts on your path to parity. For certified organization, we thank you for your trust in Women in Governance certification process, and we look forward to continue our collaboration with you.